Welcome back, dear viewers, and now it's time for our press review, and we are joined today by our dear guest, Mr. Ahmed Khattab. He is a political and economic analyst. Good morning.
Good morning to all of you.
And we start off from Al-Masri Al-Yawm newspaper, and we read the following headline. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received on Tuesday delegation of the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs in Canada. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Bassem Radi said the president asserted to the Jewish delegation that solving the Palestinian problem would open horizons of development in the region and provide prosperity, progress and security for its people. The delegation members hailed the president's efforts to boost values of tolerance and peace, a matter that boosts historic coexistence among all religions. So, sir, what is the significance of this meeting?
Yeah, yesterday Ahmed Sisi met with delegation of the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs in Canada in order to discuss a lot of issues, especially related to Palestinian problem. Ahmed Sisi sent a clear message in the meeting to the Jewish Central. We are in need to solve all Palestinian problem, because once we solve the Palestinian problem, the stable and the region will be stable 100%, and a lot of problem will be solved, and the community will be included a lot of peace and security between all the citizens located in Palestinian especially. So our President Sisi care of solving Palestinian problem. Our President Sisi supporting the Palestinian citizen, and in all international meeting, especially in order to support the Palestinian citizen to be more independent.
Yes. And from Akhbar Al-Yawm newspaper, we read the Egyptian National Youth Conference 8th edition will kick off on Saturday in New Cairo. Some 1,600 participants of mostly young people will attend the event, which will be inaugurated by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, according to a statement by the National Youth Conference. The one-day event will comprise 3 sessions, most notably Ask the President session, where President Sisi will answer questions from the public, who can send their questions online through askthepresident.net.
Yeah.
So, sir, how do you see the press to always communicate with youths?
Our President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi care of to meet with all Egyptian citizens. So next Saturday, the Egyptian National Youth Conference in 8th edition will take off. And our President Sisi care to meet a lot of Egyptian youth, especially more than 1,600 Egyptian youth will participate in the meeting. And our President Sisi main session will be Ask the President initiative, and all Egyptian citizens have the right to go through the internet and ask our President Sisi, and our President Sisi will reply to most of questions related to the Egyptian economy, related to the economic reform, related to the reconstruction, related to improving infrastructure, relating to new projects, related to SMEs, especially because Abdel Sisi care of the future of all Egyptian youth. So in conference with Abdel Sisi, it will be very effective to Egyptian youth, especially why? Because all the Egyptian youth have the chance to meet face to face with Abdel Sisi, and Abdel Sisi wants to meet with all Egyptian citizens in order to send a key message about the future of Egypt, economically and politically, and especially in the field of creating jobs for youth, because a lot of Egyptian youth aims to catch a job. So our President Sisi also will discuss, I think, the future of SMEs project and how it will be added value to Egyptian youth to start a new job, and how it will be add value to the Egyptian economy. Our President Sisi every month meet with the Egyptian youth, because he know 100% the very important role of the Egyptian youth in the future.
Yes. And from Al-Ahram newspaper, we read Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri has highly appreciated the common resolve of the political leaderships in Egypt and UAE to promote the two countries' relations to cope up with level of historical and popular ties. The top diplomat's remarks were made during the meeting with UAE Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Anwar Karkash at Al Tahrir Palace in Cairo ahead of the start of the regular session of the Arab League Council at the foreign ministers level. The meeting took up means of enhancing bilateral relations and common viewpoints regarding a set of issues of common interest. Foreign Ministry spokesman Ahmed Khattab said the meeting also covered means of enhancing bilateral relations in view of the intensive visits between the two countries. The spokesman also said that Foreign Minister Shukri renewed Egypt's solidarity with the United Arab Emirates. So, sir, how do you see now relations between the two countries?
The ideal relation between Egypt and United Arab Emirates, very effective to both countries. Yesterday, our foreign minister, Ambassador Sameh Shukri, in a bilateral with a meeting with the foreign minister of United Arab Emirates, discussing a lot of common issue related to both countries. The two foreign ministers meeting in the Arab League Council, number 152, and discussing a lot of common interest related to the two country, and also discussing the file of fighting terrorism in the region, and discussing a lot of issues related to increase the size and the volume of trade between the two countries, especially the direct investment of United Arab Emirates to Egypt, more than 6.5% billion US dollars. So it's a huge amount, and more than 777 United Arab Emirates company is invested in Egypt in many different fields. So the ideal relationship between the two countries and the good tie and relation between the presidents of the two countries support all negotiation in order for more common interest between the two countries.
Yes. And from Al Ahram newspaper, and we read also Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri held talks with his Jordanian counterpart Ayman Al-Safadi on Tuesday on bilateral cooperation and regional issues of mutual concern. The meeting was held ahead of the 152nd regular session of the Arab League Council, which kicked off at the level of foreign ministers. The two top diplomats tackled, besides bilateral cooperation, developments in the Palestinian territories, Syria, Libya, and Yemen. They also discussed efforts to counter terrorism in the region, as well as ways to support joint Arab action in the face of regional challenges, with the aim of maintaining Arab security and stability. So also we can see that the foreign minister met with his Jordanian counterpart as well. So what is the significance of the meeting?
Yeah, our foreign minister, Ambassador Sameh Shukri, in a meeting with Jordan foreign minister Ayman Al-Safadi, discussing a lot of issues related to Palestinian problem, related to Yemen, related to Syria. And Ayman Al-Safadi also sent a clear message: the unity and this of all Arab country will be add value to and will facilitate the process of solving Palestinian problem and Libya problem also, and the unity of all Arab will be add value for stability in the region. And all of us as the Egyptian and Jordan also country agree to strong the cooperation in fighting terrorism in the region and stop any international interface in the political issue of any Arab country, especially also. So a lot of very common interests within the two countries discussed yesterday aims to increase the size and volume also of trade between the Jordan as a country and Egypt, and aims to more stability and security in the region.
And we move to Egypt today, and we read Arab Parliament Speaker Mishal bin Fahd al-Salmi asserted Tuesday that a unified Arab stance is needed to face critical circumstances in the Arab region, in the Arab world, as well as foreign interference in Arab internal affairs. Salmi made the remarks ahead of the 152nd regular session of the Arab League Council. He added that the Arab Parliament is working on a unified Arab strategy to deal with neighboring countries. Salmi reiterated the Arab Parliament's support for the Palestinian cause. So, sir, now how can we achieve the unified Arab strategy which will enable us to deal with the neighboring countries and threats that face the region?
Yeah, yesterday Arab Parliament Speaker Safadi Salmi
Salmi, yes.
sent a clear message. We as Arab country should be unified,
Yes.
and should be working for peace process in all the region, and in supporting all Arab country face a problem like Palestinian, like Libya, like Syria. And once this country will be stable, all the Arab country and all the Middle East and all the Gulf will be also stable. And especially in Arab League Council discussion, a lot of challenging face all Arab countries, especially foreign interface, and we as Arab country agreed to stop any kind of foreign interface in the region.
Yes.
So last Saturday, it's a very strong message from the Arab Parliament Speaker Salmi.
Yes. And we move to Al Masri Al Yom newspaper, and we read 16 terrorists affiliated with the outlawed Brotherhood group have been arrested by Egypt's security forces on the 10th of September. The terrorists are facing accusations of being involved in illegal acts with fugitives in Turkey. According to an official statement issued by the Ministry of Interior Affairs, the security forces were able to unveil a Brotherhood plan aiming to destabilize the country's security and stability, along with targeting several vital facilities and buildings of the Interior Ministry, the armed forces and judiciary. The plan also aimed at causing a state of chaos in the country, which would allow the Brotherhood members to return to the forefront of the political scene in Egypt. The communication between the outlawed group in Cairo and the fugitive members in Turkey were taking place on 3 different levels, according to the statements. So, sir, how do you see government's efforts to fight terrorism?
Yeah, this is a clear message from Minister of Interior, General Mahmoud Tawfiq, to the Brotherhood. Egypt will fighting any kind of terrorism locally or overseas. Egypt policeman, Egypt Minister of Interior and the Minister very strong enough to fighting local terrorism, especially with Brotherhood, and all the Egyptian policemen able to protect all governmental institutions, all Egyptian citizens, and able to stop any kind of terrorism before it take place. Especially nowadays, Brotherhood work in transfer of foreign currency outside Egypt with cooperation with Turkey, and a lot of many businessmen related to Brotherhood group also supporting terrorism locally and overseas. And so the Minister of Interior, General Mahmoud Tawfiq, sent a clear message: we able to eliminate and stop any kind of transfer of foreign currency by illegal way, and we able to protect all Egyptian economy and all Egyptian governmental institution, and Egypt will take strong action against organized Brotherhood group locally or overseas.
And moving to Al Yom Al-Saba newspaper, and we read the decline in Egypt's inflation during August could be the second biggest push to cut interest rates across emerging markets, according to Bloomberg on Tuesday. As rate hit its lowest level since the start of 2013, the news agency stated that strong disinflationary momentum all but clinches another rate cut when the central bank meets later this month. According to Bloomberg, the slowdown in inflation is a key gain for the bank. Bloomberg quoted Market Egypt Purchasing Managers Index saying that despite the fastest economic growth in the Middle East, monetary stimulus could be warranted as business activity has contracted in all but 2 of the past 12 months. So how do you see this report?
This is positive news, especially from Bloomberg. This is a multinational agency from Bloomberg. Declining in the Egypt inflation rate, it's related to the right direction Egypt start from November 2016 economic reform, especially economic reform process, and such declining inflation rate will be related to a lot of governmental effort, especially economic committee work in Egypt in order to decrease inflation rate, and this is will reflect positively to the all Egyptian citizen by all of us able to buy a lot of product for a very cheap price.
Yes.
So it's a good news to all Egyptian citizens, and thanks to all ministers and all the cabinet for more done in order to reach to this point, and a lot of multinational agencies like Bloomberg, Standard & Poor, and Fitch send a clear message to the world that Egypt takes the right direction, especially after economic reform, and our Egyptian economy is very strong and open to accept more direct investment from all over the world.
And we move to Al Shuru newspaper, and we read the Central Bank of Egypt said Egypt's annual core inflation rate declined to 4.9% in August 2019 from 5.9% in August 2019. Core inflation discounts or strips out certain categories that are considered more volatile. CBE said in a statement on its website that the core inflation recorded a monthly rate of 0.4% in August 2019 compared to 0.1% in July 2019 and 0.6% in August 2018. So it's another positive report about the performance of the Egyptian economy.
Yeah,
from
also
the Central
Bank of Egypt under the leadership of Mr. Tariq Amir sent a positive report in Egyptian annual core inflation rate declined to 4.9%. So this is a very good news to all the investors work in Egypt. It's a very good news to all the international and multinational company to come and invest in Egypt, because this is reflects a good economic reform process take in Egypt, and this is lead to more investment, and it leads to decrease the rate of borrowing also, and the of interest rates of credit in bank. And such a good news and the decrease in the inflation rate will reflect positively to all Egyptian citizens and all the company and all direct investment in Egypt also.
So finally, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Ahmed Khattab, political and economic analyst. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much.
And now the viewers show break, and we'll be back, so stay tuned.